So good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the season rounds of CIBP SPARKs. Here in Europe, we could say that September is a month where everyone comes back to work, and we have the privilege to start this season with our Belgian member, CPH Banque, and Gabriel Lombet has accepted to give us a spark on his bank, where one of the mottos is "More is beautiful." And I hope that during this presentation you will understand and see why and how it's proved to be correct. Small is beautiful. On a personal note, Gabriel was one of our CIBP Link participants last year. So Gabriel attended a model on strategy, innovation, and leadership in different member banks of CIBP during 1 year. So Gabriel, thank you very much for having accepted to jump in for this Spark. I mean, jump in. This is a huge exercise, as you said, but we are very proud and happy for you to do so, to give us a glimpse on CPH Banque's business model and cooperative business model. So the floor is yours. Thank you again.
Thank you, everybody. Can you listen to me? Yes, it's clear for yes. Okay. So hello, everybody, and nice to be with you today, and especially with the friends I have met. I think some of them are here today. I have met in Brasilia, in Germany, and perhaps soon in Paris, and also in Brussels. So hello to everybody, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk a moment about the CPH Bank and its model. So the question is, Birgit, can you put the slides on the screen, please? Yes. I don't see the slide, Mia. So okay, okay, it's better like this. Okay, the second one. You can. Okay, so the question we will speak about today is this one: employing 220 people and with only 28 agencies. How can CPH Bank find its place in the Belgian banking market and offer its customer a high-quality service and appropriate customer experience? This is a very big question, I think, a question that could certainly concern every one of us. And if we sometimes forget to take the time to think about it, because we are, as everybody, absorbed by the day-to-day business. But to answer this question, I will not go into great theoretical details and development. So I have a call back in my. Okay, it's good. So I will not go to very great theoretical and details and development, and I'm not, for the same reason, not going to talk about the products and the IT development of the bank. I will just try to highlight a few elements we try to keep in mind and on which we are focusing our attention in order to make the CPH Bank and its model work as well as possible. That's the challenge. And I also will try, because this is the title of the presentation, I also will try to say you how we try to keep the thing simple, because it's not necessarily an easy exercise to keep the things simple. It is often said that there's nothing more complicated than doing the thing simply. So that's what I try to do. Okay, and I hope that you will learn something from our specific experience from CPH Bank. So you can my presentation has 3 points. The first point is to give you some key figure of the bank, because I believe that it's very important to have a view and to take into account the size of the market in which the CPH Bank is operating, and also the size of our bank in this market. Important, I think, because you will better understand the various elements that I'm going to tell you. And after that, I will try to tell you a little bit more about What do we mean by quality and appropriate customer experience? Because it's very important to align the definition of quality, because if you are not aligned in your team, and if everybody, people in your team define the quality in a different way, then sooner or later you will have a problem to ensure that everybody is pulling in the same direction. So that's why I will just take a few minutes to speak about that. And finally, I tried to explain you what are the pillars of organization of CPH Banque, which help to combine the three items: high quality service, profitability, and motivation within the teams. That's the three items I will speak a few minutes about. Then, Birgit, can you go to the next slide, please? So, CPH Bank defined itself as a retail local proximity bank who wants to be recognized by its client as a company taking part in the development of its local economy. That's very important, a retail proximity bank. So on your left, you see you have the map of Europe, and it gives you an idea of the size of the country where we live here in Belgium in regards to Dutchland and France. So you can immediately see that Belgium is not a so big country as our neighbor. In Belgium, you have 11.6 million people. To give you a comparison, I think it's the same number of people who live only in Sao Paulo, for the Brazilian friends who listen to me. So
Yes.
it gives you an idea of the size of our country. And on the right side, you can see that in Belgium we have 4 regions, and then each region has its own language. In the north, you have Flanders, where the people speak Dutch. In the south, you have Wallonia, where the people speak French. In the east, you have German region, where the people speak German. And you have in the middle, in yellow, just a little part, this is the capital of Belgium, Brussels, where the people speak all, I think, of this language. And what you see is the region where CPH Bank is operating in the blue circle. This is the region where CPH Bank is operating. It's very important to show you this because this region has more or less 1.5 million people. And I think 1.5 million people is in comparison to, if I take also a comparison with Brasilia, I think Porto Alegre has the same population. So it's twice the population of Frankfurt, and it's the same population of Porto Alegre. It gives you an idea of the market in which we are operating. It's very important to understand the elements I will present you after. Okay, more or less in this region of 1.5 million people, the market share of CPH Bank is 6%. It means that we are an actor, an important actor, but you also have to know that in Belgium, the market, the banking market is detained by, for 80% by 4 big banks. And the remaining 20% are in the hands of a smaller bank, in which CPH. So CPH was founded in 1930. The head office is in Tournai. We have saving and loans activities. And we are proud of 2 ratios because with these 2 ratios, we are able to put our model in the long term. The first is the solvability ratio. We have 21.7% of solvability. It's a very big ratio in comparison to our competitor in Belgium. And the cost-income ratio is 36%. We have, for all the bank, 220 employees. So that it gives you an idea of the size of the bank, of the size of the market in which CPH is operating. Okay, you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, and just one word to be complete. Our commercial strategy has two main lines. Because we try to be simply, we need to be simply also in defining the commercial strategy of the bank. We have two main lines. The first one is to intensify the customer relation. It means that we try to be full service bank by offering to our clients at least 3 products. You have the loans for financing the private and professional investment. You have the savings and the current deposits. That's the 3 main products we try to offer to our clients to have a complete relation with this, which is illustrated by the complete suite on the picture you have on your screen. And the second line of our commercial strategy is the acquisition of new retail customer by networking, by referencing. So to increase our market share and play a part in the local economic development, this point is very important. I have often seen companies in the world, but also in Belgium, spending a lot of money in their marketing development to promote their brand. We try to do it also in CPH Bank, but we have not the same means because of the size of the bank to do it at the same schedule. So it's very important to promote the networking of the collaborator and to have commercial action directly organized around this networking. It's something which is very important, and the question is how to do this, how to organize this networking activity. And I think the best way to organize it is to go through the definition of the quality. And that's what I will explain to you just now for the next slide. Voilà. Alors, what do we mean by quality and appropriate customer experiences? I will not go into great development. I just want to say you something, and I think this is perhaps the most important thing we always have to keep in mind to align every people in the bank in the same way. Of course, for quality, your product and services must be competitive and attractive. That's absolutely necessary. If you don't have this, you cannot reach any quality. But much more than that, the quality and appropriate customer experience is the perfect match between the product and service you describe and what you actually offer. This is very important to have the perfect match between the product and what you actually offer. I take an example. If you want to buy an electric car and the sellers say you that your car has a range of 500 kilometers. But when in reality, it has only a range of 300 kilometers, you've got poor car quality. But if you say it has only a range of 200 kilometers, and in reality it does, then you achieve a very good quality because you have the matching between what you announce and between what you actually offers on the ground, on the field. So I don't know if you have, if you want another example concerning specifically the business of a bank. There's another very easy example. You take the case of someone who asks you a credit, and you say you will have the answer in 7 days, for example, because you want to make a mortgage loan at your bank. If you came and you give him an answer after 1 month, 2 months, and 3 months, you cannot have a good quality because you have announced 7 days. But if you say 15 days, and after 15 days you give him the answer, then you reach a quality, even if the answer is yes or not, and even if the pricing is good or not. So that's important to have that in mind, because when you try to reach this, I think you can avoid a lot of problem, and you can be more and more simply in the relationship with your clients. Okay, you know what we define, how we define the quality, you know what's the size of the bank, you know what kind of bank, what kind of companies we try to be. Then now I just propose you to go to the third point and to see what are the pillars of organization. That's the next slide, Birgit, if you may. Okay, so to explain that to you, I've choose a very simple model. I think this model is well known. It's well known in general in managerial theories, and I represent this by a triangle. So you can go forward, please, Brigitte. And at each corner of this triangle, you have your main goals: the customer satisfaction. On the right, the team and employee satisfaction, motivation, and pride. These 3 points are very important. And on the third corner, you have the profitability. So you can see immediately that if you go too close to one of these corners, you are in danger, because if you pay only attention to the customer satisfaction and not to the profitability and not to the motivation of your teams, then in the long term, you cannot assure the solvability and the viability of the bank. And it's the same if you go too close to this, and it's the same if you go too close to this point, to the profitability point. Then the question is how to reach the point in the middle, how to reach the balance, the perfect balance between these two points. And at CPH Banque, I have made this exercise. We have identified a lot of points. But what I will do now is to tell you about the more important, I think, that we have identified to make the model of the bank viable in the long term. So we have identified 12 points, 12 items concerning the customer satisfaction. You have the client relationship and quality as target. The first one is KYC. Probably everybody of you has already heard about KYC. It means know your customer. But at CPH Banque, we also find very important the KYB. It means that we want not only the bankers know his customer, but we want also that the client know his banker. It's very important because it offers you a stability in the relationship. And that's why when we ask to colleagues to come and work in the network in some village where we are operating, we ask them to stay there 5, 6, 7 years to avoid a big turnover, which make the relation with the clients in big turnover, which make it difficult, very difficult. So the second point is on the phone, the people, the clients want to have people that they know him, but also people that they know. It's very important, and that's why we have no call center. Perhaps it's possible because of our size, but we don't want to have any call center in the bank. We think that if clients has a problem, and when he call his bankers, he want to have his personal banker, someone who know him and someone he knows to speak about the problem he want to solve and about the needs he have to meet. The second point is brick and click. A lot of banks are making a choice between one or the other. but we want to have both. We think that they are very complementary one to the other, and it's important to have both. In the brick network, we try to have a personal relation to solve problem for the big event of the life and to give advice to our client. And in the click network, it's much more for the transaction. And the fourth point is the central service are all client and solution oriented. So when we put a project, when we try to build product, something like that, all of the central service think about the final client. If you have no impact on the final client, then you have a problem with the project itself. Okay. On the other corner, concerning the team and employee satisfaction, motivation, and pride, you have also 4 points. You can have much more item for all this objective, all this target. You can have much more item, but here I have taken the one we think are the most important. So the next point for the network and the central service is very important that together they are only one team. You have not two teams. You have one team. And it means that you have to give to everybody a clear role and added value in each team. I don't know if you know the tools whose name is Raki. This is I'm not a great supporter of the lean management, but sometimes in lean management you have one or two tools which are interesting, and these tools, Raki, is coming from the lean management. It just means that when you have a project, if you take these tools, you can give to everybody a role. The R is the responsible of the project, A is accountable, C is the people who have to be consulted before to take the decision, and E are the people who need to be informed after to make the project good, well working when it is done. So the 6th point is to have smart target. You know what means smart? Huh? It's not. I have not invented this. This is a theory you are well known in management theories. Smart is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time defined for the last T. It's very important when you give target to keep it simple as possible. The 7th point is sometimes we forget this, but I think it's very important. We try to encourage and listen to the idea for improvement coming from the field, the team, and the client. I know a lot of companies who invest millions of dollars in trying to develop innovation, but they don't listen to the idea coming from the ground, coming from the teams, coming from their colleagues. And by doing this, you create motivation, but you have also the ideas coming from the ground. And those ideas are very important. And sometimes when you develop them, you can have great results. And the last thing is that when you have a good idea, when you succeed in a process, when you succeed in a good deal, you never have to forget to celebrate it. Celebrate it, it means to speak about it, to have a drink about it, to make a feast. But it's important because by celebrating the success, you give the opportunity to the people who has work also to explain why they have succeeded. In general, we spend a lot of time to study, to analyze why we failed. It's important to do it, of course, but it's also important to understand why you succeed or why people succeed when they make a good project. The next and the last point, the profitability. You have also 4 points. I don't know if you know the Pareto rules. The Pareto rules, it's very simply, the other name is the 80-20 rule. It means Pareto, he says that we spend 80% of our time for solving 20% of our problem. We take 80% of our time to serve 20% of the client. In another way, you can say we make 80% of our profitability with 20% of our clients. So this is a general rule which is well known in the philosophy, but I think it's very important to keep it in mind, because the only way I mean by that is do not set up complicated process to handle exception, because we spend so much time trying to answer to problems which in fact are only exception. And by following that rule, I think we try to have this rule in mind all the time, because by following this rule, I think we can earn a lot of time. And the time is money, so you can improve your profitability if you think about it. The 10th point is we have a centralized pricing policy. So it means that we have a tarification, but sometimes we need to go far away to be more competitive. And each time we have this question, we ask the central service of the bank, which is the responsibility is in the end of one of us, Christelle, you know, I think it's CIBP, everybody knows Christelle. So, and she gives derogation, but to do it, she tried to be aligned for all the ask she received. It's very important to have a tarification which is aligned everywhere in the network. We have a very flat hierarchical structure, only 3 levels. You have the board, you have the employees, and you have the middle management. You have no more level, and it's very efficient, because behind this structure you can have and you can work with a very fast and agile decision making process. That's why we try to answer all the questions we have from our clients or for credit demands. We try to answer each week. And the last, I think it's obvious to say that, but okay, you also have to keep that in mind. We prepare meetings to earn time before, because if you don't prepare meetings, you lose a lot of time after, and with the right people around the table. And we don't let the problem hang out in a cupboard and close the door of the cupboard. Now we try to find the solution to the problem early as possible. So I know that there are many other items, but these one are the one we try to have in mind all the time, because if you think about it, I think you have must change to be in the middle of the triangle and to reach the balance which gives you the warranty to make the model of CPH Banque viable in the long term. Okay, so perhaps to end, I don't know if I have, yes, I speak too much perhaps. No, Valeria, I see you. No, go. So just modestly, just to finish my presentation, just 3 advice, but I don't know if I'm allowed to give advice, because everybody of you has his experience, has his history, But if you have something to take, to bring with you after this little presentation, is the 3 points I have written here. The first is, don't forget to take the time to identify your main items in relation with the characteristic of your organization, of your team, of your structure, and of your company. I think it's not losing time to take a break to do this. The second one is, when you're working on a project on where you take a decision, keep in mind this balance and take a look of each of the points you have identified to make sure that they are respected, because it gives you the best guarantee to be and to stay in the middle of the balance. And the third one, between the 12 items identified, you should be aware that you have multiplication, not addition. It means that if one of the item receives 0, the final score is not 11 on 12. The final score is 0, because between these items it is multiplication and not addition. And if you keep that in mind, that's why we try to do at CPH Banque. But we hope that we will have a long-term bank based on relationship, and also a bank which can find the good compromise between these 3 points, staying simple, and because of our size, I think also staying beautiful. Okay, thank you. And sorry for my English, because I don't speak very often English, but I hope that you have understand me. And okay, oh, thank you for the applause. I don't know if you have question of if everybody as well understand me.
Gabriel, thank you very much for your clear presentation. It was very motivating, and it feels that indeed at CPH Banque you are a big family working all together for the same purpose. What you said also, the fact to involve everyone in the process and to know very well your customers, your stakeholders in the different regional branches. So personally, I know that CPH Banque is a very particular bank with his model when you compare it to our bigger member banks, like you said, in Germany or in France, even in South America. So it has a mystery on how you work. One question I would have on that, as you said, hopefully CPH Bank remains recognized by its peer, by its members in the future. My question would be, how do you think that CPH Bank has built such a spirit also? Because I think it's a particular culture. It has something to do with culture. Is it the spirit? Is it the top level management? Is it the employees to the top level management? How does it work within your organization, with your people, with your employees? How do you bring everyone on board?
That's a very big question, Valeria. That's a very big question. So everybody, I just want to say to everybody that it was also for me a very nice surprise, because I am here in CPH Bank since only 1 year, one and a half year, and I think the size is a good thing, because everybody know everybody. We also have, and I say it not to be well, not to have a promotion. It's not possible for me anymore. But I think that the stability of the staff and the board is very important. So everybody of you know Alain de Klerk. He has a 30 year. He's since 30 years the CEO of the bank, and he has lead a management policy which is very stable. Everybody know what are the expectation, and everybody has a role, I think, clearly defined. And if you don't have it, I think you will have a problem because, but it's easier if you are 220 people. You cannot keep people who has no added value to the voilà. And when you have this, everybody speak together, everybody want to go in the same way to the benefits of the clients, and it becomes after a while to be a big family that is that and all of them as a phenomenon of appropriation of the bank. So this, I think a lot of people here in the bank see the bank as their bank, not a bank who from whom they are just employee. And that's but uh, you also need to know that all the people are really invest in time also to voilà, because with 200 people we have no time to play, even if we make the feast when we succeed in something. But I think if I think it's a combination of things which it's very difficult to identify exactly why it works. But it's a nice story, CPH Bank, but it doesn't mean that we don't have any problem. We have problem as all of the banks, but I think the strong of the bank is in the way to try to find solution to the problem. It's rather than the kind of problem is the way we try to find solutions. But I don't know, Valeria, if I answer to your question, because it should took us 2 days to have the reflection about this.
Yes, Gabriel, thank you.
The what I want to say also, because it's time to say that um, uh, you have also discovered the reason why be a member of CIBP is important for us, because in CIBP we find partners with who we can share our experience. And when you have partners with a size very different of your partners, and with economy which is also very different. When I went to Brazil, I have seen a model of a cooperative system that I think we should promote in Europe and especially in Belgium. So it's very rich for us to be a member of that.
Thank you very much, Gabriel.
I don't know if you have other question. Was it so clear? No?
Yes, don't hesitate to write a question on the chat if you feel more comfortable of doing so. Whether your questions or your comments, or if you want to share your own experience, I'm more than welcome.
So I see that Franklin is present. Hello, Franklin. I don't know if you hear me, but I see that you are present. Hello. And the other. Okay. So if you want some precision, don't hesitate to call me. And if you want to come and work at CPH Bank, you have my email address. I'm sure we'll find a good job for you.
So yes, jumping on that. Again, you'll be receiving the presentation and Gabriel's email address. So don't hesitate to contact him on any points that you feel it would be relevant to continue exchanging for your own business model, or within your retail banking business model, or any other consultation. I would then suggest that we close our Spark session here. Thank you very much again to everyone for attending. I hope this is beneficial for you, and hopefully we see each other next month. Thank you again, and bye-bye.
Bye bye to everybody.